What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today is another budget with me, and this is for the second paycheck of October. I know I haven't been around in a minute. I've had a lot of things going on, especially financially, and you're going to see that in this video. There's a couple of changes going on, and I want to walk you through them in real time and show you what I do because that's real life. So let's get started. All right, so if you're an OG to this channel, you know what the budget in purple is. If you are new, just to give you a real quick walkthrough, I list all of my bills and my cash envelopes, and I do a mock budget with a hypothetical of what our paycheck is going to be based on previous paychecks. My husband gets paid semi-monthly, so he gets 2 paychecks a month. He is salaried, so they're typically like the same amount, but he also works a lot of overtime, and he only gets overtime on one of his paychecks. So I kind of put it in the middle of kind of what we get. Sometimes we get more, sometimes we get less. So I just do an average, and I do like a quick mock budget based off of that. And then when I get the actual amount that we're going to get, I go through and I do the actual part of the budget, and that's what I walk through with you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. This side is all of my bills. Now you guys know, and you may not know, I am a month ahead on my bills. I'm a month ahead on my bills. So half of all of my bills I take out of each paycheck, and I just put it into a bills transfer account. Now on my last video, I had a lot of people ask me what a bills transfer account is, and it's literally just a savings account. So my bank allows you to open little side accounts attached to your checking account. So I have a bunch of them open because I used to do this all in my bank account. I used to do all of my cash envelopes and my sinking funds digitally, but I found that it was just easy for us to go in and transfer and spend money that way. So I thought having cash envelopes that we kept at the house would hold us more accountable, and it has for sure. But I do still have some of those side accounts, and one of them is the bills transfer account. And so what I do is I just take half of everything and I transfer that from our checking into that little side account, and there it waits for when our bills come due, and then I just transfer the money out into the checking where our bills come out of. So I hope that makes sense. If you guys need a more thorough explanation, please let me know. I can do another video on side accounts and how I work that at the bank, but I hope that helps. So this has already been done. I've already done the transfer because we do have some bills that are due right on the 15th when we get paid. So I just take care of that right away. So none of this has really changed. The 500 stays the same. The DTE, student loans all stay the same. Peloton, Shutter, all of that stays the same. Water, car insurance, medical bill, credit card. Okay, the ortho stays the same too. The only thing that's going to change is the consumers, but I'm still going to put 50 toward it. Our bill was extremely low. I usually have $100 after the 2 paychecks. Each paycheck I put $50 in the bills transfer for our consumers payment, but it was extremely low this month, and it usually is. I think it was like $23 or something like that, $26.02. So I have $100. It's only $26.02. The rest of that I'm going to use for something else, and I will show you what that is in just a few minutes. So this stays the $13.09. Our actual paycheck, now I budgeted with $2,300. Our actual paycheck ended up being $22.38. So let's see how much we have left now. $9.29. Okay, groceries, gas, spending, all of this is going to stay the same. 480. So 929 minus 480 leaves us 449. Oops. Okay. So like I said, I'm not making any changes to any of these numbers. These are all going to stay. Minus 339. That leaves us with 110. Now, extra consumers. So I've already added this in here. 73.98 is what we have left over. I'm just going to round that up to 74, and that's what I'm putting in our extra envelope. So recently I dropped a plastic cup on our glass top stove that came with the house. I am not a fan of those. I prefer gas stoves anyways. However, I dropped the cup and it completely shattered the top of the stove. Wasn't planning, I mean, we eventually wanted to get a new stove. Definitely wasn't planning to do that now. We could take it out of our emergency fund. I didn't want to do that. We could have put it on our credit card. I didn't want to do that either. I just didn't, for some reason in my body, I did not feel the urgency to replace the stove. The oven still works, so we can use the oven. That's totally fine. We were just, I have my crock pot, I have my air fryer, and you guys know if you've watched my channel, I cook all of our meals at home. So there was urgency. I just was not feeling it. So what we decided to do was we took $30 and we purchased a countertop stove, burner. And I'll insert a picture here to show you which one we got. But we use that to cook on if we need to cook something on the stovetop. And so far, it's worked perfectly fine, and we haven't had an issue. I wanted to pay cash for it, and I didn't want to have to eat into our emergency fund because it wasn't exactly a huge emergency to us. Now, that could be an emergency to some people. You may want to replace it. It didn't feel like an emergency for us at the time, and it still doesn't. So I was like, you know what? Let's see if we can fund this with cash that we save up. So we spent the $30, which was no big, and now we are just throwing extra cash into an envelope. And when we have the money, which we are trying to get to $800, we found the stove that we wanted, and it's $730 or $750 and some change. So we want to get to $800. And see if we can just pay cash for the stove. And we could, but I don't want to take it out of our emergency fund. So we are just trying to do a side account now for that. So what I'm going to do is, usually this would go toward our credit card, but we're going to pause that. We're still doing the $200 monthly payments for that, which is totally fine. But we are going to just throw it towards the stove. So that's what we're doing right now. So let me go ahead and move on with that. But what I'm going to do is add 74 to what we have left over. So we have a 184. So 74 of it went towards that. We are going to still put 10 in for each kid. Now we have 90 to work with. I'm going to do 50 in our emergency. And then we'll do 40 in our 52-week challenge. And you guys know, you may not, I keep saying you guys know because I'm assuming that most of you are watching that have already watched. So because my husband gets paid semi-monthly, I choose two numbers from our 52-week challenge. And this month, this paycheck, I have 40, so I'm going to just do two 20s. And I know there's two 20s on there. So I'm just going to work it that way. So we'll cover it like that. And that adds to 184 and leaves us with our zero-based budget. So let me flip it over here. And you guys, I was feeling lazy this paycheck and I did not make my flips, which I just carried it down here. So bear with me if you get confused. So groceries, $2.25, gas, $1.10, spending $25, dining out, medical, toiletries, entertainment, Layla's allowance, miscellaneous, Christmas, clothing, car maintenance, vacation. Now, this clothing, you guys may see I don't stuff that into my cash envelopes in the next video because I do have to order my daughter her boots. And I usually order Hunters just because they last way longer and my kids get tons of wear out of them. And I just buy like gender neutral colors so that I can pass them through all of my kids. We just get tons of wear out of them. So that may be gone, but we will cross that bridge when we get to it. Birthday, pet care, miscellaneous holiday, homeschool, home may be gone too. I have a couple things that I need to order off Amazon for the house. Okay, emergency, Layla, Sebastian, 52-week challenge, and then the stove. So let's add all of that up. And if this is your first time watching and you're like, wait a minute, you skipped a few like subscriptions and Andrew, those are my two that stay in the bank. My husband prefers to use his money by shopping online, so I just transfer that also into a little side account like our bills transfer fund. I just transfer it into a little account with his name on it, and then we just transfer it back into checking as he uses it. Same with subscriptions. All of our subscriptions come out of our checking account, so it's just easier for me to keep that in the bank account and then just transfer it out as needed. So those two things do stay in our checking, or well, in our accounts, and then I just transfer those out. So those have already also been transferred, and I just do that when I transfer the other money into our bills transfer account. So that's already been done as well. So these are all the things that come out as cash. All right, so our total is $956. I'm going to add that up one more time and I'll speed you through. I just want to double check my work. Yep, 956. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our denominations. I have had a couple of questions ask me how I do my denominations, and honestly, normally I do it with like the biggest bills that I can. That way I'm not carrying around a bunch of little bills. But some of them I do smaller, and if I will kind of mention that as I go through. So groceries, I definitely keep as the bills as large as possible. So 225. Gas, I do in a certain way. I do 20s and 5s and a 10 because we have two cars, and I try and split the gas up. I try and split the bills up evenly for each car. So I usually do 4 20s, 4 5s because each car gets 25 a week, and then 1 10. Spending, I just do a 20 and a 5. Dining out, 20. Medical, 20. Toiletries, 10. Entertainment, 10. Layla's allowance gets 10 singles. So I do 10 singles for her because sometimes she doesn't do her chores for a week. Sometimes, and it's just easier for her to divide her money into her cash envelopes that way with singles. So I just keep them singles so that it's easier. 50, I just do a straight 50. Christmas gets 50, 60, 70, 2 20s, and then 4 singles. Clothing is a straight 50. Car maintenance, 20, 35, 38. Vacation is a 25. Birthday, 20. Pet care, 10. Miscellaneous holidays. Homeschool, home. Emergency just gets a 50. Layla, Sebastian. We're just going to do 2 20s for the 40-week challenge, and then the stove is going to get 50, 74. All right. Now, if you've been here a while, you know, like I said in the last video, this is my bugaboo, is these denominations and adding it and getting the same total. So fingers crossed that I get it right on the first try, because I got it right on the first try last time. So let's see if we can do it 2 times in a row. So total count: 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 3, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. All right. This is 200. This is 250. 20 times 18, 360. 80, 45, and 21. So let's add all these up. They should add to 956. Fingers crossed for me all. Two times in a row. I did it 2 times in a row. Woohoo! I'm getting better. It only took me almost a year. It's fine. It's fine. We're working through this. So 956 is my bank total. That's what I'm going to pull out. If I don't, like I said, buy a couple things online before I pull money out of the bank, so that may change. It's totally fine. I will walk you through it in my cash envelope stuffing. But that is it. Those are some changes that I have going on. The other financial changes I will talk to you guys about in my cash envelope stuffing, because you are going to see those changes on my credit card. So that being said, this is it. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. I love making videos like this for you guys, because life happens, stoves break, and you need some money, and sometimes you gotta adjust and kind of roll with the punches. So I really love doing these for you guys and showing you my real life, and I hope that it helps you with your budget as well and helps you get a little creative. But other than that, I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much. Bye.